If we don't want our children to react like a heroin addict when they've got to get off screen time, we've got to think about what are some amazing apps that we have that are out there that are not going to create this crazy adrenaline cortisol response. Welcome to Neuroeducation, where we're exploring the neuroscience of how to switch on the brain to supercharge learning. I'll be sharing with you innovative teaching techniques, effective parenting strategies, and educational advocacy. I'm your host, Angie Dee. Together, let's revolutionize children's learning. Welcome to Neuroeducation with Angie Dee. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about educational apps that make you go snap. Now, we all know that apps and computer screen time, iPad time, whatever it may be, screen time can be absolutely fabulous. To give yourself a break as a parent, or to implement in school teaching that can obviously help children learn. There are lots of apps that are absolutely fantastic, and there are lots of apps that I would say are a big no. What is the reason for this? The reason for this is that some computer games that we have in this day and age, even if they might be educational, they wire our kids for a dopamine hit. And the best way to navigate this is, I would say, a computer game that is making children do something incredibly fast. I don't know if you know Temple Run, but they're like running, they've got to run and they've got to jump and they've got to run, they've got to jump, and oh my God, they're going to die and they're going to run and they're going to jump. If you're doing something like that, you can imagine what's going on inside the child's brain. The kind of adrenaline, cortisol pumping through their veins, boom, 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 boom. And then when you say, okay, time to hop off, what's going to happen? Oh, they're going to crack. Why? Because it's literally like they're on crack. These kind of games have been shown to be as addictive as drugs. So if we don't want our children to react like a heroin addict when they've got to get off screen time, you've got to think about what are some amazing apps that we have that are out there that are not going to create this crazy adrenaline cortisol response. So today, I have 4 apps for you that I highly recommend, and there are more. If you have more ideas, message me or comment down below with some great app ideas if you have other suggestions. But here are my 4. Number 1, a maths app, Timestable Rockstar. Why I love Timestable Rockstar is everybody has their own little character. As they get more points and do more times tables, they get to play their little rock star, add some cute little things to their outfits. But the children can see how they improve with speed of how they write, how fast they answer the questions of their rounds. And also they see how many they're getting correct. And I feel like this fits into a growth mindset. We know that if children have a fixed mindset, they think, oh, I'm terrible at that and I'm never going to get better, and that's just how it's going to be forever. But with a growth mindset, children see, oh, with more effort, I see that I can improve. And I think Timestable Rockstar does this in both of those 2 ways. The children see their response time and how their answering response time can get faster. And obviously, as they get more and more correct out of each round. My daughter personally didn't love maths. And after the school assigned Timestable Rockstar as some homework, she decided to start doing 5 minutes a day. And I was amazed to see that when she came to me, she was so happy to say, Mom, look, I've improved. I'm like a second faster, and look at this. So she could see that she was improving. Before this, her attitude towards maths was, my dad's a maths teacher. Both of my boys love maths. My son Santiago was doing polynomial algebraic division in grade 6. Loves it. My daughter didn't. But I say Timestable Rockstars flipped that around, and it really showed her that with greater effort and more time, she could improve. So that's my number 1 app suggestion. Number 2 is a simple game. It's called Crossword Journey Word Games. And you get to create, you have usually some words in a circle, and you can create different words by touching different letters. But it's a fantastic game for problem solving different word patterns. And if you have something like phonograms or phonics that you're trying to teach your children, this is a great way to build that, because they're trying to find all the words that, oh, there's an O and a U and an S and a T, and it's, oh, it's sh, S, H, O, U, O, U, T. And they, okay, this is shout. And then maybe this is some other word that has the same spelling pattern, shout and out. So there's, see that O-U makes the ow sound every time. And it really builds that in through repetition in a fun way. So that's my number 2 go-to app. Number 3 is Duolingo. Now, Duolingo not only is for learning languages, but they have Duolingo for maths, Duolingo for even learning your letters and learning your words. And what I love about Duolingo is they try to do a variety of ways. If you take learning languages for an example, they will get you to say it. They will get you to write it. They'll get you to listen to it and then respond to it. And they'll get you to match it. They're trying to do it in a variety of different ways that really helps children learn. I've seen a huge amount of children playing Duolingo and improving their second or third language skills with Duolingo. And I've also seen children using Duolingo for English and for maths. And I think it's a fantastic app that has a variety of subjects that you can learn from, and they do it in a really good way. The last one is a nice art app. Now, because there are so many computer games and there are so many apps that are just making our children's brains go wild, whether they're shooting some fictional person or when they're trying to escape something that's chasing after them, it's nice to have an app that has a creative aspect, but it's also more calming. And I would say the next app is just that. It's called Pottery.lv. And what it allows you to do is to take a piece of clay and move the clay with your fingers. So if you have an iPad, even if you have the phone, you're moving the clay, you're expanding the clay, and with your fingers, you're gently creating this beautiful piece of pottery, which you then can sell for a certain amount of money, but you can decorate it, you can paint it, you can add different patterns. So it might be an African little pattern you put around your pottery, or it could be a little Asian pattern or a Greek pattern, whatever it may be. But children get to have this creative experience. Obviously, will never beat the real world, but it's a beautiful side kind of creative app that allows them to do something that calms them down. I would say one of the most important things to think about when it comes to screen time in your child is everything in moderation. There are some children, unfortunately, the statistics in Australia, that are having 4 to 5 hours of screen time a day. And when it goes to high school, the stats are insane. That the stats in high school in Australia are that some children are on screen times for over 7 hours a day, if not more. When we think about that, we have to ask ourselves, is that healthy? Is that healthy for our children? Is it healthy for their emotions? Is that healthy for their development? And I would have to say, with many psychologists behind me, that the resounding answer is no. So everything in moderation. I average my children on maybe maximum of 1 hour screen time a day. Once the 1 hour's up, it's capped. And there are some days we don't have screen time because we're having outdoor days. And for some children, I know screen time is hard. It's hard to get children off. And when children are hitting the roof and screaming when they get off, some parents think, oh, it's just easier to leave them on it. Forget about it. We're going to leave them there. However, the sad thing is this is not setting them up for success in life. It's not setting them up for holistic education in terms of being a well-rounded individual, emotionally, physically, mentally. And one of my best tips for getting kids off screen and into the real world in a positive way is doing positive things with your children outside of the home. Whether that's, let's go for a nightly walk around the block. Let's go for a walk along the beach if you have an esplanade near your home or something nice. Let's go and bounce the basketball for half an hour or play tennis or whatever it is. If you're doing something fun and engaging with your child, which often they want to do, is engage with you in a positive way, then you don't have to be trying to limit their screen time and having fights with them. It's easy to have a short amount of screen time to say, okay, well, we've had an hour or half an hour. For younger children, it might be even much smaller time, 20 minutes or once a week. But if you make life more exciting than a screen, it's easy for children to get off screen time. So that's when we want to get them off the screen and into the real world. But for those short times when you do want to give them a bit of screen time and you want it to be healthy screen time, I hope these 4 apps help. And thank you so much for tuning in again to Neuroeducation with Angie Dee. Do us a big favor and jump on to Apple Podcasts or Spotify to give us a 5-star review. And also, if you can subscribe on YouTube channel, it makes such a big difference. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on our next episode.